Please be seated. My sense is that our houses are quieter now. Trees may still be up. Lights might still be glowing in windows. But the rush, the hustle, and the bustle has passed. The wrapping paper is gone. Life is returning to an ordinary pace. And that's where we find ourselves today, in these days after Christmas. And that is exactly where the church wants us to be. There's a reason we have 12 days. You see, the world rushes past Christmas as quickly as possible. We begin early so that we can just end it in one day. But we stay here on purpose with intentionality because what happened is too big to absorb in a single morning or single day. And that's why today the gospel does not give us shepherds and angels or mangers. See, John slows things down. He pulls us back to Bethlehem before Mary, before creation itself. In the beginning was the Word. Now, that's not said out of nostalgia. This is theology that insists that we pause and pay attention. John tells us that Christmas is not just about a baby being born. It is about God choosing to come all the way to us in human life. The Word became flesh and lived among us. God didn't hover. He didn't stand out there in some big distance far away. God came to live among us. Now, side note, this isn't in my notes. This is something I hold as we worship. There's times where maybe I'm turning my back to you. God is both and everywhere. And how we hold that space and acknowledge that God is here among us, especially in this season, is important. So God came to humanity, moved into a neighborhood. God is not doing that saving work from afar. God saves from within. And that matters more than we could ever realize. Because these things where we look off in the distance become ingrained in us that God is something far off. God's above us. God's watching. God's judging. Waiting for us to get it just right. Waiting for us to become worthy. Now, John says no. God comes close. God takes on human flesh. God chose to become vulnerable. The Word becomes tired. The Word learns to speak. The Word experiences joy and grief and hunger and love. And in doing so, God tells the truth about who each of us are. I see this play, this truth, rush over us as we move on to the next thing, the next season. Decorations come down, our calendars fill. Even here at St. David, we're already talking about the next liturgical season. And we can even today feel that pull to tidy up, to organize, to shift our attention forward instead of right here in this place with each of us. And yet, the church invites us to pause, to rest, to stay with that joy and beauty of knowing that God has come to us. I see that myself most clearly in moments of pause. Here, it's where I see people stopping to check in with a friend. When we choose to sit next to someone at coffee hour, to take that time to see and understand and listen. Really listen to know their story. See, when we make space to see and to understand the experience of another person before us, I believe we are actually also strengthening our connection with God. And that's difficult because we often rush to talk, to tell, to plan, and organize. But the ways we slow down is important. The ways we welcome one another here at St. David is important. And it matters. Because this is where the Word dwells among us. So today, Isaiah gave us language for what God is doing in these moments. I will greatly rejoice in the Lord, the prophet says, for he has clothed me with garments of salvation. Now let's notice that image. This isn't about effort. It's not about something that was done or achievement. It's about being dressed. We are clothed by God. We are wrapped by God in dignity. We are given a new identity. Like a bride adorned for a wedding, like a crown placed upon someone's head. You see, incarnation restores dignity. It names worth. It says that you are not disposable, you matter. You're not invisible, you're not forgotten. You are seen. You are cherished. You are claimed by God. Now, Paul pushes this even further in Galatians. You are no longer slaves, he says. You are children. We're not employees trying to earn God's approval. We're not outsiders hoping God's going to tolerate us. We are God's children, beloved. Children who cry out, Abba. Children who belong. You see, the incarnation does not just forgive sin. It changes relationship. It changes status. It tells us that we are part of God's family. Now, the Psalms today grounds this in the real world. Psalm 147 praises a God who counts the stars and heals the brokenhearted. A God who commands the snow and feeds the animals. I don't know if some of you, I think, had a better view this morning, but I'm going to tell you the Olympics are just lovely this morning with the snow. We see that, and for me, I see that powerness. I see that power, and I see that tenderness held together in God's hand. Grandeur and care held in the same hand. That is our God who became flesh. Which means that God is still at work here. In our ordinary places, in our ordinary lives, the Word still dwells among us. Not only in those moments of beauty, but in the hospital rooms, on the cold streets, in quiet grief, in tired bodies, in small churches like St. David, faithfully showing up for one another. You see, Christmas is not over because God is still here, still clothing us with grace, still calling each of us beloved, still entering places we think are too small or too ordinary to matter. God's light still shines in darkness. Not just then, but now, here. Not just in the world, but within each of us. And the darkness has not overcome it. Amen.